evening, I'm Alina Maida. Thank you for joining us on our new show. Our aim is to promote business, academic and cultural collaborations between Australia, the European Union and the world. Our first guest is Professor Bruce Wilson, the Director of the European Union Centre of Excellence at RMIT University in Melbourne, Australia. Thanks so much for joining us, Professor Bruce Wilson, and welcome.
A pleasure to be here.
So what are the current and future projects that RMIT EU Centre is working on, and what are the challenges and the opportunities for the Australian university sector?
Well, I think the first part is easy to answer. For a decade now, our EU Centre has worked at RMIT, but for the last 3 years we have been dependent on winning project money. So we've worked particularly on 3 areas. One is the Sustainable Development Goals and the role that the EU plays in the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. People might not be aware that in 2015 the United Nations adopted a program for global transformation to 2030, and that encompasses 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So that's been our major focus for the last 2 or 3 years. We have another major focus on EU regional policy, and in particular the way in which they have come to focus on innovation and place-based innovation. And we've done a lot of work on introducing those ideas to Australia, and in particular implementing a major smart specialisation project in Gippsland. And the third area, of course, is the negotiations between the EU and Australia over a trade agreement. EU-Australia trade is generally something that we're very interested in, but that's our major area at the moment. You ask about challenges for the university sector. Well, I think for the last 20 years, Australian universities have depended very much on international students, and of course the pandemic has put an end to that pretty much for the time being. So how that unfolds will be a major challenge for Australian universities. I think many universities are responding to this circumstance by going online with their offerings. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing remains to be seen. We've certainly delivered a lot of seminars now online over the last 5 months.
What collaboration opportunities can you foresee for education institutions, businesses and individuals from Australia and abroad with the European Union?
Well, I think as always there are many different opportunities. The 3 areas that I've indicated do represent major areas of opportunity. That's why we're doing projects in those areas. And certainly in the last decade, Australia and the EU have increasingly collaborated. Trade has certainly been top of the agenda, but there's also been a lot of work on security issues. What's referred to as the Indian Pacific anti-piracy campaign has been very much something that EU and Australia have worked on together. But when you talk more specifically about individual organisations and businesses, the EU will, in its next multi-annual financial budget, have another major program for investment in innovation, in science, research, innovation. Australians already collaborate a lot with the EU. And when I say Australians, that's not just universities, that does include businesses, and those opportunities will only increase, I think, in the next 7 years.
And can you please give us an update on Australia's free trade agreement with the EU countries?
Well, it's important to be clear here, it's the EU that negotiates trade agreements on behalf of its member states. It's not the individual nations themselves. The individual nations, of course, like Romania, all have a say, but a lot of that work is done up front. So before they even start negotiating, all of the EU member states get to say what the mandate will be. It's referred as the mandate that the EU then takes into the negotiations. And I think the short answer is that Australia and the EU have been very ambitious with these negotiations. They are hoping to have an agreement which is significant in terms of new ways of opening up trade between the EU and Australia. They're hoping for an agreement which is significant in terms of really making a commitment to open trading arrangements central, and they're very keen to have an agreement which makes multilateral arrangements, that's a reference particularly to the World Trade Organisation, a way that nations do business. So in that sense, EU and Australia are certainly not following the protectionism of Donald Trump. But they've had 8 rounds of negotiations so far. The 9th round will be in September. Until this last few months, they had shuttled between Brussels and Canberra. But the last round in May was by video, and this next round in September will be by video. That certainly slows things down, but I think now people are still hoping that there'll be an agreement between the EU and Australia on trade by the middle of next year, and that'll be ratified by early 2022.
Professor Bruce Wilson, thank you very much for being part of our TV show, and thank you for your time.
A pleasure. Good luck to all of you.
Our next guest is Janine Lum, the founder of the European Women in Business. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Lovely to be here.
If you will, could we start with what is the story behind your successful business?
Sure. Well, I think I started originally working through European chambers, so hence the name that has kind of a little bit of a tie to it there. And I was working with predominantly a lot of male board members who just said, look, we need to get some more females on board. How do we do that? And I was trying to think, okay, well, what do I like? I want glamorous surroundings. I love, beautiful fashion and, things that inspire me and things that are beautiful as well. So that was kind of the tie-in with the theme that I liked. And when I looked at what they were trying to achieve, I just said to them, look, it's really not conducive for females to walk into this sort of environment. You've got a guy kind of slumped up at a bar and a disheveled tie, and it just wasn't that enticing for women. So, it's quite confronting, I think, being a woman and walking into a networking environment where you don't really know anyone. So I was trying to tie in all the things where it was really easy for women to walk into something like that and just go, oh my gosh, look at this, look at those beautiful jewels. Hi, my name's Janine and really lovely to meet you. So it was that kind of, easy breezy kind of networking combination that, played out that way. So it was all about elegance and style and beauty. And substance with informative topics. So that's what I tried to envisage. What
are the current and future projects that you're working on?
At the moment, we've pivoted to online events. So if you'd asked me a few months ago whether that was going to be, something that we do, I would have said, are you kidding? But now, so having been faced with COVID, you had to sort of think a little bit creatively, and I started to think, well, how can I keep everyone inspired and connected and informed? And so I created this series called Health, Wealth and Uplifting Yourself. And that's part of the response to the changing face of business that we're in everyday life. And to try and keep everybody, a little bit more positive about what we're going through as well. It's easy to get down about what's happening and to get fear surrounding that, and so many other things that go along with it. So it's really about creating that semblance to help inspire others. But we've had maybe 7 events now, online events, and they've been a mixture of all those things. So topics including health, wealth, and uplifting yourself. And we've done a couple of champagne events, which are more uplifting. And we've got a rosé masterclass coming up with the winemaker from the south of France, so in Provence. So that'll be really lovely. And we're pairing that with some recipes as well, so people can prepare that for the night if they want to. And it's also a networking opportunity and just creates a little bit of escapism, just to get away from everything as well.
What are the membership benefits for interested business women from Australia and potentially from overseas?
Sure. So as a member, you get the opportunity to have complimentary events. So it's $150 a year, which is actually not that expensive. But it's about getting, the value and exceeding the value of what you get from my eyes. So our events are always somewhere beautiful and unique. Obviously not with the online events. It's not very glamorous with my surroundings tonight, but we always like to have inspirational speakers, excellent food and wine, and we showcase the best of European and Australian suppliers from, exceptional businesses. And that includes fashion, jewellery, art, travel and lifestyle brands. And we try and encourage the development of confidence and values, explore the opportunities and exclusive offers, promote yourself or your business or the brand that you're working with, and connect you with like-minded, inspirational businesswomen. And the opportunity, obviously, to expand your network to help you succeed with that.
Thank you so much for your time tonight, and thanks for speaking to us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Our next guest is Mr. Kim Wu from the Victorian Chambers of Commerce. Welcome and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Please tell us, what are the benefits of being part of the Victorian Chambers of Commerce?
Before that, let me just give a bit of a brief background of the chamber.
Sure.
The Victorian Chamber of Commerce was started about 160 over years ago. And so now we've got 20,000 members and contacts, and we have got 100 over staff servicing the members. And the members are mostly, as you would think, is in Victoria, because we are the peak body for businesses for Victoria, but we also have interstate members. So 80% of the members will be in the Metro Melbourne area, but 20% are regional. So we really cover the whole state. Well, we work for businesses, and therefore workplace relations, human resource support is very important. So we guide our members to go on the right side of things, making sure that they are compliant in terms of the employment law. Especially now with everything that's changed in the whether you can work or you have to go to the office or not, and all those things. A lot of updates. That's what we have been doing. Then the other one, of course, is training. We believe in the businesses upskilling their employees, and therefore we run 800 courses. We are a registered training organization. Then, of course, we love to help to connect the businesses, and therefore we will run a lot of large size networking events. So, of course, before the lockdown and after the lockdown, we would go back to those physical networking events. Each one would be about 100 people, and so that the businesses can meet each other. Then we believe in the promoting or supporting exports. So we are the largest issuer of certificate of origin, because exporters, a lot of them, their buyers will need the exporters to prove that the products are made in Australia. So the chamber would issue this certificate of origin. Then, of course, the policy and advocacy. We help link the businesses to the government, and we bridge each other, so that there's a lot of good suggestion going to the government, how to make the business environment conducive. Of course, we also have experts in-house on government grants, so to help to prompt businesses, hey, which are the grants that you can look to for help, especially now with the COVID-19 challenges. There are a lot of government subsidies. So what are these? So we do that. And the other one is the health, safety, and well-being. That means the we have consultants visiting companies to make sure that their facilities are safe for workers and everyone. And we have a huge platform of these so many members and contacts, and therefore a lot of businesses actually promote their products and services on our platform. On the flip side, obviously, our members will get good deals from these suppliers, and also their employees would get shopping discounts from these like your Coles, the Good Guys, Dan Murphy, Hoyts, and all. So that's is really good. The employees of the members, they love it. They get the discounts. And obviously we put up a lot of the contemporary advices and updates, especially like COVID-19. So we feed all kind of what do you call that, updates and knowledge to help the businesses cope with these challenges.
What are the current collaboration opportunities for education institutions, businesses and individuals from Victoria, Australia and abroad?
Before the lockdown, we had very, very close collaboration with the state universities. So every 3 months, we have this what we call Ignite series. So every 3 months, there's one university will collaborate with us to put up a big show, and we will invite a lot of our members so that the universities can showcase their innovation and those things that could be useful to the businesses. And so businesses could collaborate with them in projects and all. So it's really marvelous events. And in terms of working with business groups, we love working with business groups because of the leverage. And so we will give special deals to the business groups, and because the business groups, their members are all businesses, right? So again, it's like they could, and business groups generally don't provide the full range of businesses. Services. And so we provide on behalf of the business groups to the businesses. And we could be sponsoring some of the award of those business groups. And we have special programs and all, so that, we work with the businesses. And even for individuals, we have this class of membership called networker membership. So individuals, even postgrad students, they could join us and come to our networking event to know people, and also to access our training programs.
So you have already mentioned some of the challenges which the businesses in Victoria are facing. Are there any opportunities arising from this situation? And if so, how is the Chamber of Commerce helping?
As we know, I think the experience is the best teacher. We see these, for example, like restaurants, cafe, hotel, departmental stores. They can't have walk-in traffic anymore, the foot traffic, so-called. And landlords, because a lot of offices, just maybe they just can't pay their rental and also but on the transport companies too, we have nobody is taking transport. The main thing is how is the switch. Obviously, people will still need certain kind of, they still have their basic demand, right? So you have delivery companies, you have logistic companies that are doing very well, online operators doing very well. And we see that as all of us, or most of us who work from home, So obviously we need better equipment. So suddenly you find that, hey, you know, people need to get better equipment, better PC, better laptop, more reliable and faster speed internet. And of course you have the like Zoom, Team, and all these devices to help people to meet. And of course, even like virtual touring software, right? We were talking to some companies now that they would like to promote their such product online. So on the flip side is that, yeah, it's greener now, less carbon emission. So every day in every way, we are seeing new things, and we get feedback from companies. We help to, and also from the government and our own think tank, we'll just put out a suggestion to members, update some information, so that everybody can benefit.
Thank you so much for your time tonight, Mr. Wu, and thanks so much for all the information.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for joining us this evening. We hope our show will help inspire individuals and businesses to collaborate here in Australia and abroad. Thank you and good night.